Hello and welcome to our next session for measurement in industries. Look this. What is happening here? You can see here a sensor sensing the presence of object, like how object is nearby to the face of the sensor. Exactly, we are going to talk about proximity sensors in measurements. So I am your course instructor Motion Bhatia, and we are coming ahead with proximity sensors in measurement in industries. So what is proximity sensor? Basically, it detects movement and presence of object, and the specific thing is without any physical contact. And whatever detection is done will be sent as electrical signal. And as per Japanese Industrial Standard JIS, whatever contactless detection is done, that is proximity switch and proximity sensor. And the benefit or application area is very wide. You can say contactless switching and contactless sensing, unaffected by most of the surface conditions of the object, and having a longer life and high speed response. So we'll go ahead with the different types of proximity sensors one by one. So numerous proximity sensors are there, starting with the basic fundamentals of the passive elements like capacitive, inductive, then magnetic fundamentals, opticals, and based on the radar and reflection rays or typically active or passive kind of sonar activity, or based on the sound wave, that is ultrasonic sensors, and again another variation of the magnetic sensor, that is the Hall effect sensor. We will be focusing on these following sensors fundamentals for proximity sensors: capacitive, inductive, magnetic. In magnetic, we will be looking into two parts. One is read contact type of magnetic sensors, proximity sensors. Another is Hall effect sensors, usually we know as Hall sensors, and optical and ultrasonic sensors. Optical here means photoelectric. Okay. So let us go with the sensor criteria first of all. So how to select the sensor, proximity sensor? So first is object required. What kind of object we are using, that will decide the choice of the sensor. Basically, we say complex objects, say having color and different shapes and different kind of material. Where if complex object is there, IR proximity sensor in the very small range, like the range between the face and the object, face of sensor and object will be very small. And for the little bit higher range, we can use the ultrasonic proximity sensor. So for complex object, for very nearby objects, IR sensors are more suitable. The next is environment of sensing. If you look at the proximity sensor criteria, so where you need to see cleanliness, you need to see temperature and moisture around it, and most suitable in this part is capacity. If a very clean environment and moderate temperature is available, capacity of inductive ultrasonic works well. And where because IR proximity sensors have a very small range of sensing, so that will not be useful for the harsh environment. And keep in mind, these all sensors, wherever they are installed in industry, they are provided with specific indoors protection, IP, say IP65, IP67, IP56, different kinds of protections are there for this kind of enclosures. Another criteria is the sensing range or the distance, like object position and how far object is there. So for the close range and long range, say IR ultrasonic are useful for the long range. But yes, IR is you can calibrate while you are using actually, and it may be from few millimeters to some centimeters. And ultrasonic goes for say some 5, 6, 7 meters also. And capacitive and inductive, they are suitable for the very close range kind of sensing. So first will be capacitive proximity sensors. We know fundamental of capacitor C is equal to epsilon 0 epsilon R A by D, where epsilon is the permittivity of the medium and A is the cross section area of the plate face, and D is the distance between the two plates. So basically here we will be looking at the distance between the face of the sensor and the target. Target means your object here. So it consists of majorly four components. Say the one will be your charging plate. Say one will be internal external. Another is output switching circuit. Then Schmitt trigger and oscillator will be. And internal plate is connected to the oscillator, and external plate, that is the sensor electrode, that you here can see the black face over here as a sensing surface. So basically, when an object, say conductive or non-conductive, basically we are talking about the dielectric properties between the object and the face of the our sensor, where dielectric remains same because the environment doesn't change often. So what will be changing is distance between the one plate, say face, another plate, the target. So how target far or near will decide the value of capacitance, and that will result in some output voltage, and that will actually trigger the sensor output switch. So here, whenever capacitive capacitive phase is nearby to target, let's say target is present, in that case only capacitive sensor will oscillate, like it will give output. It actually contains potentiometer as well for the setting of the sensor sensitivity. That you must have worked with some sensors during your small mini project where a small potentiometer was there, that you will be changing the sensitivity by varying the amount of the resistance provided to the current path. Here you see one of the application where capacitive proximity sensor is used here in this animation that you can see, and a particular defective part comes that is being taken away from the supply line. So what are the advantages? Here are the advantages. Like say contactless detection, that is everywhere in the proximity sensors. And there is a wide area of material can be detected. Here you look at the animation where number of objects are coming up and the response is very fast. Plus inside sensor there is no moving part. I am talking about the inside the sensor. So it actually always whenever there is no moving part, it gives you longer service time. And even metallic or metallic objects or non-metallic walls can be detected too. Disadvantage: low range. Low range means the distance between the object and the sensor face. Yes, of course, it is little bit more. Adaptable compared to inductive sensors because of they have little bit better range of the working, and compared to inductive sensors, these sensors are little bit costly. Applications, if we look at that, here you see the application, one of the application I'm running through the session, that production automation machine that counts the product or product transfer that you can see here in the diagram, filling the process or fluid level and pressure measurement that we have done in the previous session, moisture control, then non-erosive content detection or touch applications. Touch applications basically they are used in our cell phones and touchscreen devices. Next is inductive proximity sensor. The fundamental concept components almost remain same. Here we talk about the eddy current that is being produced in the target. So definitely this should be, the target should be a metal. Okay, metal means that can conduct the current. Whenever there is a current flowing within the conductor, it will again induce one eddy current or eddy field within that, and that will be actually being detected by this sensor. So once again here Schmitt trigger, then the sensor phase with the field and amplifier is there. So coil, oscillator, Schmitt trigger and the output switching circuit here will be given within the sensor. And here as I said, it is based on the law of induction, where the coil with an oscillator and it will be detecting the presence of the metallic object. Okay, so detects metal objects only. So once again you see the diagram, electromagnetic detection field is there, active surface is given. See, you remember this for your examination purpose also, that you have to narrate by drawing the simple diagram. Okay. Basically, there will be two types of the inductive proximity sensor. The one will be shielded, another will be unshielded. Unshielded means it will have no restriction. It will detect from the all four sides sensing. And in shielding or shielded inductive proximity sensor, only front, like when the object comes in front of the face, it will detect. I mean, side or other dimensions will not be covered. So here you see one of the animations available with that metal object comes and it enters within the field of the sensor. See, this is little bit different than the pure magnetic sensor that is coming up in the next slide. Here, metal object is compulsory. There we will be talking about the magnetic and non-magnetic materials. So here you see the object are near like metal object and eddy field is induced within them and the signal is given to the circuit. The red, black to red status is changed. So here we apply an electromagnetic field which is generated by an AC supply in the coil. And whenever metal object comes closer to the magnetic field, as I said, eddy current will build up within the object and it will change the coil inductance and it will trigger the sensor output switch. And even when a target is not present, inductive sensor will continue to oscillate because continuously magnetic field is generated. And whenever, I repeat again and again, whenever metallic object comes into the picture or it comes closer to your sensor, it will trigger the switch. So applications, one of the applications you can see here, where you can sense the speed. One of the best applications is the sensing the speed with the presence of the inductive proximity sensors. So industrial usage is like again automation machines can have use them, and security purpose where detection of metal objects or armory or landmines with the help of this inductive proximity sensor without making any physical contact. You can find them. Advantages: contactless detection, available for all type of proximity sensors. Environment adaptability, like it is less affected with the dust and dirt because the magnetic field can penetrate in the almost every any object. And versatile in the metal sensing, where you can set the sensitivity to detect certain kind of metal. Compared to capacitive proximity sensor, they are a little bit cheap. And once again, here no moving part within the sensor, and hence a longer surface life is here. So disadvantages are also there. Maximum range is, as I said, you see 50 millimeters, and can detect metal objects only. So this is one of the limitation. And once again, as we have seen our fundamental studies, where magnetic field and inductive activity are many times affected by the extreme temperature conditions or chemical results. So let's go ahead with the another magnetic proximity sensors. So this is once again position detection beyond the normal limits of the inductive sensor. See, we had capacitive sensor, then we had inductive. Now we go beyond certain range. If you want to extend the range, you have another methodology. This is a magnetic proximity sensor, where magnetic field can penetrate all non-magnetic material that we know. Like it may be a paper, it may be a wood, it may be polymer material. So it can detect through even the other side of the wall. But the condition is it should be non-ferrous metal. Stainless steel also you can detect through. You can detect through aluminium. You can detect through plastic or wood, as I say. So two types of magnetic proximity sensors you have to keep in mind. The one is reed contact type, where some mechanical activity will take place in the presence of magnetic field, and another is the Hall effect sensor, which is more popular in the industry and a very specific fast applications. So first, let us say reed contact type, where you can see the diagram, where the part C, part D distance, and magnet is shown on the face. Let me go back for you to look at this diagram. Here the magnet is shown at the top, black one, that is given on the face, that is the permanent magnet. And the D sensor is there. So metal plate will be changing the position based on the magnetic field. So here we see permanent magnet, keyword you have to use, and it will operate by the reed contact. Reed contact means like one contact is overlaid by another contact, and thin plates are hermetically sealed in the glass bulb, or you can say glass tube, with the inert gas. Inert gas means the gases which they don't act in the chemical reaction, and the presence of magnetic field will make this thin plate bend. This you can see here in the reed sensor, the plate another that will be bent and will touch each other, and it will close the circuit like this way here. And as soon as the magnetic field goes down, it will touch and it will complete the circuit, and it will give you electrical contact. Here you see D is the maximum switching distance in the relation to the magnet used. D is the differential stroke, and C plus D will be your total contact reopening during the removal of magnet. Once magnet is removed or magnetic field is not there, it will be opening in this stroke total D plus C. Next is the Hall effect sensor. Here you will see in the diagram, where for each time a magnet passes through, that is detected and light glows. So here we talk about the external magnetic field. Now you keep in the mind that in case of inductive sensors, we were producing the magnetic field and we were generating a magnetic field within in the object or in the target. Here the target is having magnets on them, and whenever that magnet passes through, that gives the output voltage. Here we say is pole voltage Vh, and that is proportional to the strength of the external magnetic field. Vh will be induced in our sensor. it will be very small in some microvolts, so obviously we need amplifier. So here you see the circuit. Voltage regulator is given, pole sensor is shown by making cross, then amplifier is there, and then filter, and the output is given whenever magnet is present nearby the sensor. And for every movement, you look at the next diagram, this one, where whenever a magnet passes through that purple color piece, you can see on the moving object, and whenever it comes nearby our sensor, it gives you red dot. It means the pressure, shown by the pressure. Hall effect sensors will have this kind of characteristic where output voltage at VH will be proportional to the magnetic field. As in, this is our well-known VH curve. VH curve that you studied in the first year. And once again, built-in DC amplifier, as I said, is given to amplify the microvolt level of the VH. So here you remember the terminology. VH is the whole voltage, R is the whole coefficient, I is the current from the sensor, and thickness of the sensor, and the magnetic flux density. And benefit is it operates over a wide range of the power supply and magnetic field conditions. You should remember the basic two types. The one is bipolar, another is unipolar. Bipolar means you need both the pole, south pole and north pole, to detect the field like a positive magnetic field and operate them, and negative magnetic field it will be releasing the switch. And here in unipolar, only one sided will be used. So only one, say south pole, it is usually known as the positive magnetic pole. So this was all about here the Hall effect sensors, and we will be meeting in our next session of the proximity sensors, where we will be talking about the photoelectric and ultrasonic proximity sensors. Thank you so much.